You enter the world from your mother's womb, plunging straight into the freezing Arctic waters, surrounded by drifting ice chunks. Your first mission is immediate. Swim up fast. The icy water presses in as you kick toward the surface, lungs already screaming for air. It's 20 feet away. Better hurry. Your mother stays close, gently nudging you upward. Then your first breath. The Arctic air burns your lungs, but you made it. Back underwater, another instinct kicks in. Hunger. You nuzzle closer to your mother, finding her milk rich and thick like cream. It's exactly what you need to build up a layer of blubber, your best defense against this frozen world. But even feeding isn't simple here. Every few minutes, you have to stop nursing and follow your mom to another breathing hole. When the ice is too thick, she uses her long spiral tusk like a spear, breaking through the frozen ceiling to create a lifeline for both of you. Your eyes are still adjusting to this strange world of light and shadow. But then, wait. That dark shape in the distance. Is it just another chunk of ice or something worse? Your tiny heart nearly stops. A massive, dark figure glides through the water. An orca. 3 times bigger than your mom. The ocean's apex predator. Even as a newborn, you know what that means. Death. Your mom instantly moves, positioning herself between you and the killer whale, her tusk aimed forward like a spear. It's brave, but hopeless. An orca could tear through a narwhal like paper if it wanted to. But today, luck is on your side. The predator, likely full from an earlier hunt, decides you're not worth the trouble. It vanishes into the icy depths. You've just survived your first close call and learned an important lesson. What should you do when you see an orca? Run? Fight? No, you idiot. Stick close to mom and pray it's not hungry. Just then, more narwhals appear, gliding in from all directions. Your pod has returned from their hunting trip. Turns out, you're not just surviving with mom. You're part of a family. The water fills with clicks, whistles, and calls as they check in on each other, speaking their own secret language. The next 20 months are all about sticking to your mom, guzzling down her ultra-rich Arctic milk, and learning the rules of survival in this frozen wilderness. Eventually, your milk-drinking baby days end. 2 years of premium narwhal nutrition have turned you into a proper, blubbery youngster, finally ready for the real narwhal life. But here's the thing. Narwhals aren't born with their legendary tusks. If you're female, you probably won't ever grow one. If you're male, you'll have to wait. Right now, though, you have bigger things to worry about than when your face sword will show up. Like learning to dive, not just deep, thousands of feet down into pitch black water. Why? Because that's where dinner is. Your pod is teaching you the art of deep diving. But your first tries? Embarrassing. While the adults vanish into the abyss for 25 minutes at a time, hunting halibut and caught in the depths, you barely last 5 minutes before scrambling back up for air. Speaking of air, remember how your mom used to... You used to rely on your mom to break breathing holes with her tusk. But now, you're on your own, tuskless and trying to figure out where your next breath will come from. You have to find those rare gaps in the ice sheet, or it's game over. Luckily, nature didn't leave you helpless. You're developing something special. The ability to sense movement in absolute darkness. One day, as you glide through the black depths, you feel something nearby. Not with your eyes, you can barely see your own fins. But somehow, you just know it's there. A squid floating just out of reach. Your first attempts at catching it? A disaster. You lunge, flail, and miss, over and over like a clumsy penguin on ice. But with each try, your instincts sharpen. Then, success. You snatch the squid in your jaws. Your first real hunt. You're getting better at this whole seeing in the dark thing. After about a year, something strange happens. A tiny bump appears on your upper lip, smooth and shiny. The older narwhals give you knowing looks. Your tusk is finally starting to grow. It's barely longer than your flipper now, but that doesn't stop you from practicing your best unicorn pose. One day, while hunting alone, feeling pretty confident with your baby tusk, you spot a Greenland shark. It's young, like you, about your size, probably on its first solo hunt. Your heart pounds, but something else kicks in too, a desperate need to prove yourself. The shark circles closer, sizing you up. You aim your tiny tusk forward, trying to look intimidating. Let's be real. You probably look like a kid wielding a plastic sword. The shark lunges, you dodge and swing, managing to scratch its side. It comes back, grazing your fin. The water fills with both your blood. A deadly dance. Just as exhaustion sets in, a deep, powerful clicking echoes through the water. An adult narwhal, one of your mom's old friends, emerges from the darkness. The shark hesitates, then decides this party is getting too crowded and disappears into the deep. Did you see that? I fought it off, you brag, trying to hide how much your fins are shaking. The older narwhal gives you a gentle nudge, the narwhal equivalent of a pat on the back. But her message is clear. Nice try, kid. Maybe wait until that tusk actually grows before picking fights. The next 5 years blow by. Hunting, growing, learning. Your once tiny tusk now stretches an impressive 8 feet forward. Your body has bulked up to match. Now you cruise the Arctic waters with your own pod, 15 to 20 other narwhals, including males with tusks just as impressive as yours. With a group like this, most predators keep their distance. But there's one that still haunts your nightmares. Orca. Just last month, one of your pod members surfaced for air. And then it happened. An orca appeared out of nowhere. Before anyone could react, crack! His mighty tusk snapped like a twig. By the time your pod reached him, all that remained was dark red water. The orca was gone. So was your friend, just another snack for the ocean's apex predator. That day changed everything. Now, your pod moves like a single unit, always on high alert. A few months later, spring arrives. The water temperature creeps up, shifting currents. Suddenly, everyone's restless. It's time. Time for the journey to the breeding grounds. This isn't just some random migration. Narwhals have gathered in the same waters for thousands of years. Think of it as the Arctic's biggest speed dating event. Hundreds of narwhals who've spent all year in separate male and female pods now meeting up in one place. A bunch of nervous unicorns with 9-foot ice picks trying to float. Your pod starts the journey. You see other male pods heading the same way. Everyone is practicing their tusk moves like teenagers prepping for prom. You catch yourself spinning your tusk more than usual, hoping it's enough to impress the ladies. After all, you've spent 2 years growing this beauty. Time to see if it was worth the trouble. As you reach the breeding grounds, the water fills with more narwhals than you've ever seen. Females appear in the distance. Suddenly, every male around you is trying way too hard to look cool, including you. You attempt your best move, a perfect spiral swim. It's going great. Until, whoops, you accidentally tangle tusks with another male trying the same trick. The whole breeding ground looks like an underwater talent show gone horribly wrong. Then you see her, a female narwhal gliding through the water with the grace of an underwater ballerina. You rush to show off your magnificent tusk, only to realize she's too busy admiring some hotshot with a slightly longer one. Just as you're about to accept your fate as the Arctic's most awkward narwhal, Something unexpected happens. Another female notices your failed attempts at looking cool, and she actually seems amused. Turns out, some ladies prefer a guy who makes them laugh, even if it's by accident. Your spring romance lasts just a few days. You swim together, show off a little, mate, and that's it. No family life, no raising kids together. That's just how narwhals roll. Females raise their calves alone, while males return to their bachelor pods, bragging about their breeding season adventures. That's life in the Arctic. But the Arctic is changing. The ice isn't what it used to be. The water feels different every year. Yet narwhals have survived here for millions of years. As long as there are deep water fish to hunt and ice to break through, you'll keep living your best unicorn whale life. After all, being one of the ocean's greatest mysteries has its perks. Humans still can't figure you out. And honestly, that's just how you like it.